Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Runelord Legacy, where we will be playing through Rise of the Runelords, which was originally a Pathfinder First Edition campaign, but we've converted it to a Second Edition campaign because Second Edition rules are way more fun. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks for joining us. Now, as always, I'm going to throw it over to my amazing cast, tell you who they're playing, what's on their mind, how they're doing today. And we're going to start, as always, with the amazing Dawn. How you doing this morning?
Hi folks, I'm doing well. I play Nexon, the gnome Stitchwitch. I almost forgot my character's name. um, and yeah, Nexon's looking forward to making some cloaks with this Yeti fur.
Hi everyone, I'm Becca Godsey. I play Rain RLCs, and I'm still feeling very conflicted the fact that we unnecessarily murdered a Yeti family and a blooming artist, a blossoming artist that was probably going to get to go to art school and become famous and do all sorts of very influential work, but it's fine. It's fine.
We don't know that. For all we know, they're murderers. You have no clue. Hi guys, I'm AJ Winters. I am playing Cecilia. I too forgot my name. I had to look at chat and stream. I'm the catfolk investigator of this group, and Cecilia is not feeling guilty. Cecilia still does not understand what is happening, but is very happy that the threat is over.
Hi, I'm Ari. I'm playing Scarlet, the dominatrix slash mistress slash elven cleric. And she is very feeling non-conflicted about the fact that we murdered those Yetis because she looks amazing in fur and cannot wait to see herself in them.
And my name's Michael. I am the Dead Aussie Gamer, and I play the role of Malvolo, the human inventor, and his puppet Collodi, who is a sassy thing. I've had Malvolo's had a bit of a moment. Like, he was kind of put on the spot to talk with this spooky fey ghost woman thing about lost loves and stuff like that, and Malvolo poured his heart out and had a big moment there. So I'm looking for the player am looking forward to seeing what happens with Malvolo post thing. But I think Malvolo is very quickly and eagerly looking forward to getting onto other things in the scheme of the adventure.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I did not expect that much Yeti pain or Yeti non-compliance. Just I don't care about Yetis. They deserved it.
Wow.
But poor Yeti Van Gogh. Which was its name?
Become a Van Gogh.
It was a Yeti Van Gogh. But with all of that being said, we actually have a number of ways for our audience to interact with us, the players, and it's actually helped the players a lot. Like throughout this campaign, there was a lot of things that the audience has granted to the players, and it's changed the course of everything. With that being said, for $5, a $5 donation, which is a lot of money, thank you very much, you can award a hero point or a jinx point. So a hero point goes to the players, and they get to make a reroll, and the jinx point comes to me, the GM, which allows me to make a reroll. For $10 donation, you could grant a player a wheel or woe, and it's kind of like how it sounds. So
wait, nope, sorry, I put the wrong one in.
I thought we changed it, and I was just like, whoa,
that's my bad.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We got the sin boons. I was like, all right, I guess see, that's just me going along as a typical conformist pig. So for $10 you could grant a sin boon, which is like a magic power that actually we've used a lot. Cecilia used it to open up a portal directly to a mountain fortress, which helped out everyone. At $20, which is pretty awesome, you could grant a nat 20, which has been used. We have no more nat 20s, so that's been used up by everyone. And obviously, for a $50 donation, and that's the hugest donation, a wandering NPC or a custom magic item granted to the group. Nexon has a custom magic item. We've had 4 or 5 wandering NPCs that became very integral to the plot. So that was pretty awesome. Thank you very much for the hero point or the jinx point and the hero point to Rain. Thank you very much. Before we stop the how you can affect us. See, it's already changed the game. But with all that being said, why don't we jump into it, right? I know everyone's
Two more
excited.
things.
I'm excited.
We have our boss bar, which is
yeah.
looking very low. For those of you who have been following the show, every $100 that gets donated to the stream generates a boss bar. This boss is a TPK level encounter that shows up and spawns in during the game, at which point it can, of course, potentially devour, eat, and murder everyone. We've had a few of them before, including a giant wyvern. We've had like a giant amalgam of flesh that was a golem in an insane asylum. These have been epic encounters, and Jared has done phenomenally with each and every one of them. And we are currently $32.80 away from our next boss battle. Also, a very super quick thank you to Noria, who has just tipped $10 to the stream, which, of course, has gone towards a hero point for Rain and a jinx point for Jared. So thank you so much, Noria. And, of course, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, which are, of course, Fantasy Grounds for the VTT of our choice, Sirenscape for the wonderful music and the sounds that you will hear during today's game, and, of course, to Hero Forge for, of course, all of these awesome figurines and miniatures and the like, which you will see throughout the show. Take it away, Jared.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Hero Forge. My son was playing with my miniature yesterday. So there it is. That's the correct sound my miniature makes every time I take it out. Yeah, so where did we last left off? The party started their slow trek out of the Shimmerglades, where they met a dryad, a Nyx. It was a forest elemental that they've lost someone important to them, a love. Because of that broken heart, the Shimmerglens, the forest in the outer region, started to contort and become full of snow and just terrible. It was very sad. A little sprite or a fire elemental reached out to Nexon, actually because of Nyx. Nyx being connected to the elemental world, and also because Nexon's a Stitch witch. The little sprite kind of reached out and was like, hey, can you help me? My mistress needs help. She's super sad, not doing well. The party made their way over. At that point, Morvolo, like we said last week, it was kind of a shocking moment. Morvolo revealed their face, showing that they actually are flesh and blood, not just another puppet controlling a puppet, which was a running theory for a while. And basically was like, hey, we'll figure this out. We'll make this work. She gave everyone a pass. She said, hey, listen, okay, if you're going to do me this solid, I'm not going to be so dour and keep everyone trapped in the snow. But because her emotions are volatile, as they are, it started snowing a lot. The party kind of started to move their way through the woods, heading towards like the base of the mountain area. They started climbing a little bit, but not much, right? It was very little. It started snowing, terrible snowstorm. And they met some Yetis. Yetis got into a fight. Morvolo trapped them, threw them into a hole. I believe both of them went into the hole, kind of on top of each other. And yeah, they Yeti'd it up. And now we pick up with the party harvesting Yeti fur. Rain is, I guess, helping to the best of her abilities. A little saddened. Nexon and Scarlet are working diligently together to make sure none of the fur is ripped or torn, because Nexon has her her tailoring ability, and Scarlet actually has some of her own lore on leathering, like proper leather and how it's made and handled. So can I get 2 rolls, one from Nexon and one from Scarlet, just on basic crafting? And if you have that lore, Scarlet, you could use the leather lore, which is a tongue twister.
Yes. Okay.
30.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Not bad.
I see you two are starting the night day off very strong, depending on what side of the planet you are from. And so the 2 of them are working very diligently to harvest this fur, to make sure a lot of the fur is put to use. Rain, how do you feel about Yeti meat? Is it edible? How would you like to handle the disposal of the body?
It is actually edible, but you have to tenderize it quite a bit.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, it's very tough kind of thing.
Mhm.
So either you have to spend a long time kind of boiling it and or allowing salt to kind of eat away at it, or you got to beat the snot out of it.
So
As
so
one does.
yeah, typical Yeti processing. I mean, who doesn't know that?
Yeah.
So is Rain sort of like hanging up a big Yeti and then just sort of like
just
rock
fucking
it.
yeah.
You just got to put the Rocky theme song in after.
You're just training in the background.
So either Rain is getting brolic, or Rain is just tenderizing this meat, working her bestest of abilities. Marvolo, Cecilia, you two have kind of taken up a point in which you're more or less keeping an eye out on things. Cecilia, you remember seeing the painting, and you're seeing 3 Yetis, and there are only 2 Yetis. And I apologize, my little one got into my room and is running
it's
mad
fine.
behind me.
It's the meme
AJ
of
was
the
doing
guy on the
buttons.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my little guy. I would put him on stream, but
You can put him
he's
on
now
stream.
very talkative, and you could probably hear him screeching.
Cute.
Adorable.
So cute.
oh.
I apologize for that.
No, you shouldn't. He's so
Sorry,
cute.
it was so adorable.
You know what? I'm just imagining that this is just buttons.
Yes, that's what I thought. I thought
Yes.
AJ
Yeah.
had made a sound. I'm like, what is Buttons doing right now?
Buttons is now my little guy.
Would your son like to join the campaign as Buttons? You respond. This is like when Furbies start talking back to each other.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
He can hear you, by the way.
Yay!
So he's now answering AJ.
Hi.
Oh, he just left. My wife grabbed him and like snuck him out like ah.
I could do a very realistic baby cry, but I won't do that to anyone.
Please don't. He's very into helping now. So like if he hears a baby, he'll be like, "Baby?"
Prepared. I know there's something I need to do.
That's adorable.
Sorry, I apologize to everyone. I try to be as professional as possible.
No, it's fine. No, look. Ultimately, these sorts of things, we accept cats, we accept little humans. It's awesome. The more that we see, the better.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. So okay. So I'm not going to kill everyone right now. I'll kill everyone later for
Good.
being so polite.
Wait, what?
I mean, yes.
Oh, thank you.
So, sorry, this morning is kind of crazy. So you guys keeping an eye out, right? Let me get perception checks, basic perception checks. Whoever is not tanning fur, more or less. So,
Okay.
or rockying up.
I'm focused. Gotta hit my shot every time.
You only have one shot, one opportunity.
Don't.
This is my moment.
Sees
I'm
everything.
gonna add
you've
that song
ever
to my
wanted.
playlist this morning now. I gotta add that one.
28.
28 and 30. So, as you kind of are like looking around, Cecilia, you are like, maybe I should scout out that cavern, right? Like, see how deep it goes, how far back it goes. As you
I'm gonna
start,
find a baby yeti.
yeah, maybe you find like a little crib with a little baby yeti in it. It's fine.
We will adopt a baby yeti.
Yeah.
If you give us that, we will adopt a baby yeti.
Oh, as all parties would. Yes.
I'm
Like-
the mother now. Okay, yes, I'm in the cave. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So you make your way into the cave.
Mhm.
Sorry.
It's dark, it's dingy, and Michael,
Yeah.
would you like to share with the class?
No, I was just gonna say I just came up because so as you know, my brain like I'm trying right now to make a D&D campaign setting and rule set based on food, and as soon as you said that, all I could think of was Yeti spaghetti, and then I was like, oh no, don't talk about that. Sorry.
No, we're not turning them into spaghetti right now. You just
Sorry.
wait.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, what's the spaghetti
Today's
with meat?
stream's going real well, guys.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I blame my son. It's okay. I blame myself. Okay. Ready?
Yes,
Scene.
yeah, I'm
There
in the
we go.
cave.
yeah, that's it.
Visualize it.
So there's a cave. It's wonderful. You're looking around. You're seeing the scripts or the finger paintings, right? Very primitive finger paintings. You look around and you start to go deeper into the cave. You actually do find two things. One, you find a number of humanoid skeletal remains. Obviously, Yeti food. You do find that on one of the skeletal remains, it had kind of like leather armor. This is like blackened leather armor. It's pretty tough. It's probably from the Black Arrows, but it is magical. It does have a magical scent to it. As a person who uses their scent, it's like that ozone smell.
Mhm.
So it does. It's obviously magical. It's a +1 resilient hide armor. So that's just a lot of pluses on it. It's damage
No worries.
reduction and stuff.
I'll take it
I'll send
back.
that to you. Yeah. And actually, as you go a little deeper, you do notice, and this is the strange part, there are now script, like actual script, carved into the wall. And this looks weird. There are parts of the wall that are obviously not like dug out or torn out, that the Yetis would have made a natural cavern. This looks like it was crafted. You look around some more and you go deeper, and now you come to a solid facing wall, and there is ancient Thessalonian script all over these walls,
Yep. Okay.
or common for you guys, but more ancient in your time period. As you look around, you start to see it, and there's like maybe a solid wall of it, but some of it's destroyed from time and just wear and tear. As you read over it, it talks about the greed and Karzug, and something about runes and slavery.
Okay, I'll call Marvolo into the space, as he's the only one that's not crafting at the moment.
Malvolo enters the cave. I'll probably leave Collodi outside just to, again, stand watch and remain guard. The puppet kind of probably standing more closer to Nexon and Scarlet than to Rain, who is literally beating a dead Yeti. As Malvolo enters, he sort of pulls his coat tight, and he sort of covers his face. The smell of like fur and mange, kind of being relatively unpleasant. Cecilia, have you found something?
Yes. Do you know what these mean? Obviously, it's another one of those markings, something about the runes.
Yes, these look very similar to the rune markings that Rain had discovered. Back when we were in the town of Magnamar, we encountered a group of serial killers who were murdering people, much like Lucretia did. And they were carving people with runes. Among their notes were talks of Thessalonian magics that were being used to enslave and ensorcer people's minds.
This one mentions slavery. which I'm not quite happy about, but
Can I use a? I'm not very magically inclined, but can I use an Arcana check to see if I could figure out the context to these runes, why they would be on the cave, and like
Yes,
specifically.
of course.
Yeah. 15.
You're so obviously being the oldest child in the group, meaning like having that connection to the world beyond and this world. As you're reading it, it talks about, you saw this from Rain, and you remember this from Magnamar having the runes of enslavement. And if you pick up a single word, and this is a terrifying word, as it speaks of crafting giants. They were your obviously translation's a little off. You're not sure if they're speaking of making giants or like enslaving the giants, and how they would be rune giants if they took the mark.
Do we know what rune giants are?
You would.
Oh no.
what?
Well, originally I believed these runes and these types of magics to be referring to ensorcering and enslaving runes, which would have made sense if these runes were done by members from the kingdom of Lust, where Scarlet's from. But these aren't like these, and I could never put my finger onto why that these runes of all were here in a place that was ruled by the Runelord of Greed. It is an enslavement rune, to be sure. But these were the same enslavement runes that were used to entrap the tiger giants, native giants to this particular region. Well, if my memory serves, they were basically hunted to the point of near extinction, and their bodies engraved with a particular marking designed to ensorcel giants. So many of their people were captured and transformed, both in body and in mind, that they became no longer known as tigers, but as rune giants. And it seems as though this is, at least in some part, the recipe.
Happening now, perhaps?
From the decay in the walls and the fact that so much of this is missing, I'd say that this may be a remnant from our time that has simply just been left and grown. But if it remains here, I mean, I myself couldn't replicate this, but I'm sure someone far more intelligent may be able to.
I am particularly worried that these runes keep popping up for different reasons in different areas, and different people are utilizing them for their own selfish and ridiculous reasons.
It may explain how Lucretia has gotten the aid of the giants of the region.
The ogres?
The ogres, yeah.
Then perhaps we should destroy this wall. Destroy the cave instead. Make sure this knowledge is not known moving forward.
I would have to agree. But before we do, I would like Rain to maybe see these as well. She seems to be...
course.
Yes, she seems to have a strong connection to these runes, and, well, I mean, best to at least have ourselves aware. I'm sure...
As long as we don't write anything down, I'm not going to take notes on this. For once, Cecilia conceals her, writing utensils. I don't think, if anything were to happen to us, that this should fall into others' hands.
I agree. Malvola will turn and leave the cave and retrieve Rain. Rain, if you have a minute, there's something I need to show you.
What is it? As she kind of throws another punch real quick.
Collodi, would you be... Yeah, no, I got this. Don't worry. You watch as his hands come forward and they're just sort of like... and he just starts to just walk close to it and just start punching it. So,
That'll work.
he says that Cecilia's found something, and then guides Rain towards Cecilia and the runes and their markings.
Rain just gets shivers all over, and the hair all on her body just stands up. This is horrifying.
Indeed.
Someone is actively using this. This isn't, I mean, I get that this is, but if this is so easily found.
If anything,
Oh,
we should
no.
perhaps make sure to look out for this in the future. If this is surrounding the area and this is not the first time you've seen something like this, it means remnants of our old world are infecting this one.
Infecting is the right word. Infecting is absolutely the right word. This shouldn't have come through at all. And you kind of see Rain like feeling, because is it carved in or?
Yeah, they're like hieroglyphs, right? Like chiseled in.
Okay, chiseled in.
Mhm.
It's too safe. We can't leave this here. You see kind of Rain struggle with this, but we have to close off this cave.
I say we
No one
destroy the cave.
Yes, get rid of it in any way, but nobody can see these.
Then we're all on the same page.
Yes. Yes.
Is there any
worry-
way that we can, I don't know, when the next drama is over, and probably the one following, is there any way that we can track down where these things would be located? Any past history any of us have on relics? This cave must have been something man-made.
I suppose. Rain, can I look around it and see, like, does it feel like this cave has been chiseled in and made?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely looks like it was man. Intelligent hands had crafted this cavern, or this part of the cavern. Obviously, it's not like the Yetis were like picking up ancient like Thessalonian runes and like placing them in some fashion. No,
Okay.
it's definitely intelligent hands had made this.
Okay. I mean, it's possible that maybe somewhere this has been noted, like a map of all of these, or somebody clearly has gone through and created a whole variety. Like even, just
In the city of magma?
yes. I mean, I always knew of these existing and being aware of it, but to see now twice in my life here in this timeline just feels very unusual. I would never have expected to see this here twice now. Of all times, we're so far away. This has to be very purposeful in what people are doing. It's incredibly dangerous, and I don't think it's accidental.
Does anyone have a map?
I believe Marvolo has a map.
I've got a big map of the broad region.
Anything that has the city of magma and this location on it?
Oh yes, no, of course. I reach into
When-
my backpack and pull it out. I'll hand it over.
My instincts are telling me that there's some sort of pattern to this. A cave on a mountainside surrounding nothing else.
Okay,
Seems
no,
odd.
that's true. Maybe that it.
So I mark off the two locations
Locations.
on the map.
They are fairly far from each other, but you have two solid locations. Well, technically three, because Rain and both Marvola would point at Sandpoint and being like, no, like there too. So you now have three solid locations,
And Thistletop as well.
and where Thistletop was.
So
Is there any connection between, like, is there a straight line? Is there a curvature? Is there anything that I can, like, investigate to
Mhm.
match up these locations?
Yes, using your investigatory ability that you have, which is Clue In, I
Mhm.
believe that's the name of it. You start to look for the pattern.
Mhm.
As you do, you kind of start to come up with theories on it could be a shape. It could in itself be because each rune lord had their own like crest, right? Like their own family crest or symbol that they
Oh,
used.
I put out my arm. The crest, this tattoos that we have are a combination, isn't it? It's not individual. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
7.
Yeah, it's the 7-pointed star. Yeah.
I put it next to the map. Is there any correlation?
It looks like it could start that, but you're with only like 4 solid locations, you're like possible, but also I might want it more than the truth. You know, that like I really want this to
It could
work.
be, but yeah.
So you're now using your clue in. So if you want to jot that down, the more of these areas you find, the more you'll start to learn about like starting to see that bigger picture. So you're connecting the dots.
What I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw the rune on my hand over the map with those points, and just kind of roughly circle where I think other ones might be.
Okay.
And then tuck it away and be like, all right, well, this isn't the first thing that we need to do, but I'm curious to see if this is correct.
Well, if anything, this probably means there might be some of this magic here in this space. I don't know who else has been able to find this place and how this particular magic has dispersed in the area. If anything, we should just be incredibly cautious and let's wreck this place.
Yes. Well, if the ogres are influenced by this slavery giant spell, curse, whatever we want to call it,
yes,
then that does seem rather risky to continue having it around.
Yes.
Secondly,
this isn't magic that should ever exist, so it's not like we're ruining an important piece of history or something that could be turned into something good. This is incredibly manipulative that shouldn't have existed in the first place.
And these other locations on the map were to do with different runes, right? Different, or were they all greed? They've all been greed so far. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, no. The one in Sandpoint was Wrath.
Wrath. Oh, that's right. Yes. It was Wrath in Sandpoint, but the rest, other locations had been greed. Yes. I apologize for that.
Okay.
As Cecilia, you and Raina and Marvolo are kind of like trying to figure out the connections, we shift back over to Nexon and Scarlet outside, working diligently on making beautiful Yeti fur coats. As the two of you are working in unison, actually doing it fairly well. I don't think you guys would kind of get in each other's way. And the slow, methodical punching of Kalodi onto salted Yeti meat that will now become travel rations in about a day.
Yeti jerky.
Yeti jerky.
Yeti jerky.
Yeti jerky.
Yeti jerky.
You have a weird moment of silence as the storms are raging up on the mountainside, but down here it's only a light snowfall. Nexon, as you kind of take a moment to look around, you start to see that it's strange. You're picking up on like weird magics, working with string and constantly like being the Stitch Witch and working with that. You always kind of try and find patterns, or not patterns, but like connections, right? Like how all that works. And you have that string, the string of life that you've used a few times. And you have that capability to activate it to maybe talk to a spirit or something a little outside your reach. Scarlet, you being a cleric of the deity of passion and knowledge and secrets, actually, partial secrets, knowing secrets and gaining information, you can spend a moment to cast your augury spell and possibly ask your deity for some information if you're looking like what's up ahead. Should you be careful of the storms? Maybe camp here. Is it a good time to have some pie? And those questions you would ask the deity.
What did you call the spell?
It's called augury.
Augury?
Mm-hmm.
I have that.
You should, as a cleric, have that ability to reach out.
I think it's called omen. I have read omens. Is that the same thing?
Yes. It's very similar.
Okay. Yes, let's do that.
All right. What question would you like to ask?
To see if we should get the fuck out before the storm.
All right. So spending so you have to go into like a meditative place in your head to ask the divine.
Yes.
How does that look for us? What does that look like?
I take my whip and I start to do some light bondage with it.
Mhm.
And in the pain and pleasure, I can access my goddess.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And awesome.
I'm not gonna act it out.
I love
Yeah,
it.
no. No, act it all out. Come on, we're here now. Bring where's the leather whip?
Do it.
No. So as you start to do that, Nexon, you now have like that silence, right? So Scarlet, you're asking that question. The question you are proposing is, should you start moving up the mountain or should you camp? Is that the okay? And for you, Nexon, you now have some time to yourself to really process what's been going on.
Yeah. Nexon's gonna pull out that thread. I think it actually allows me to cast augury without using a spell slot.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, I will kind of pull that out and kind of setting the cloak that I'm working on aside, just kind of start winding the thread kind of around a thimble, or not thimble, spool.
Yep.
And kind of concentrating on it as I cast augury and kind of think about I don't that's a good question. What am I asking? Whether we should try and find I guess what the best way up the mountain would be.
Oh, okay. That's a solid question. Like, is the path we are on the proper path? Not a bad question to ask. So our two almost divine casters, or I think you guys are kind of reaching into the same sphere of knowledge. One is kind of reaching into just like the ether and calling forth power, and Scarlet is reaching to an actual force. And it does take about 10 minutes. So while Marvolo, Cecilia, and Rain are in the other room, trying to put the pattern together and putting those pins in the board, we actually have a weird situation happen Next, and as you cast your spell and you're wrapping this, the ball starts to glow and it starts to become warm in your hand. And you open your eyes, and what you are seeing for the first time is a very strange room. You kind of walk into the room and you see an older woman, very old, and she seems to be knitting something, working very quickly, pulling out needles from her hair, right? She has like a large bun, done up bun. So like there are needles in there, and she has like one of those sewing. Oh, my mother-in-law is gonna kill me. She sews all the time. And one of those like
Pin cushions.
needles on, yeah, pin cushions. That's the word. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn saw me running for it. And she's doing all this. And Nyx walks in, but Nyx doesn't look like Nyx. Nyx looks bipedal. Almost standing on two legs, and Nyx kind of walks in and sits at the table or at the foot of this older woman. And having Nyx walk in, being about 5 feet tall, 5-6 feet tall, kind of walks in. The older woman you're looking at is huge, in comparison, almost like a statue you would see of like a statuette, right? Like these big, magnificent statues. And then she now makes eye contact with you, and everything, it's like a dream. It's all fuzzy. Everything seems wrong. In dreams where like you could kind of feel like you predict a movement and then a movement happens. And you walk in and she holds up this tapestry, and on the tapestry, it's beautifully woven. And you see all these figures. You see a moose, and you see a crow man. You see a lizard. You see a lantern. You see a cat and a bee. And she looks at you, and without speaking, you hear a word, and she says, you don't hear it as much as you feel it. She says, well, you've told a very large story. So what have you learned?
We've all got our part to play, but I think we help each other out, we can kind of find the right path.
And she pulls out another sewing needle. She starts to go to work, and she looks at you and she says, do you know why Nyx is your friend? And then you see Nyx is now seemingly in like walked in as a bipedal spider person, and is now sitting there almost in like a nice suit with a little top hat. I feel like Nyx would have a top hat, and is like sipping some kind of tea, and is just
no, I think we just kind of found each other when we needed, and I liked him and he liked me.
How many legs does Nyx have?
8. I look over. Does Nyx no longer have 8 legs?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, he would still. Nyx does still have 8 legs. It's a very nice suit with multiple legs. It's all well fitted. And this entity looks at you and still now moving diligently says, huh, 8 legs. How many friends have you met?
I'm in 7 if you count Collodi.
And then as you say, if you count Clody, she kind of goes, ah, and she goes, I knew I forgot something. And she starts to work on the tapestry again. Says, huh, that's funny, right? You have a spider friend with 8 legs and now have 7 friends, counting yourself. It's kind of like we're all connected. Do you think you're going on the right path?
It's the only path I can see.
She goes, huh? Only path you can see. You know, that's a strange word we use. Only path we can see. We could see. I know you could see more than that, Nexon. Nyx has many eyes, and you've seen a lot. You've done a lot in your small amount of time, and you know, we kind of work these together, and hopefully you use that sight of yours to guide your friends a little more. You know, it's been a struggle up to this point, and you know, we've gotten good gifts and friends, and as you say that, like a small bee starts to flutter around your head. She goes, huh, it's kind of strange that you use that word. You know, see is strange. You've seen a lot, right? You've seen monsters and mayhem. Apparently you fought this thing, and she holds up a giant picture, and it's a moose with a little pirate hat throwing a spear into a giant serpent. It's like that's strange, right? Like all of this seems very strange. And then you're wondering if you're on the right path. I think you are. What do you think?
I think I've been following everything that fate's been telling me to do. So it seems like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. You trust everything that's been tossed to you?
I have no reason not to.
Okay. And now a little bee lands on your shoulder. And you hear kind of a secondary voice calling out. And as it speaks out into this ether, you hear a question coming from that, and it's a familiar voice, and it's asking a very similar question you were asking: are we on the right path, or should we kind of stay here tonight? And now we transition from you next and quickly to Scarlet. And Scarlet, you reach out into the ether, and you're asking your goddess this question of what is happening, where are you going, are you on this right path, what's going on? And you find yourself in the most luxurious room ever, and laying on a beautiful sofa is a beautiful woman, and she looks at you She says to you, huh? It's very strange that you're here, my child. I've granted you a lot. Your name is written in history. Yet you decided to muck around with these people.
I say, first of all, hey Queen, slaying, looking absolutely amazing.
She's like, thank you.
And I'll have you know, actually, that I didn't have a choice. I was projected into this new world, and in the future, I didn't have my say in it. So then I asked for your blessing right at the beginning, and I saw a bee and interpreted that as a yes, as a you should go follow them. So here I am. And now I'm asking once again, should I continue?
Should you continue? Huh. Well, it's very strange that you asked that question. Should you continue? Because at this very moment, another one of your friends is asking the exact same question. And should you continue? That, what do you think you'll get from it?
I think I will get. I have no idea actually. Could I get a hint?
You want a hint?
Yes.
Well, no. I like to tease things out. I don't like to just give instant gratification.
Fine. Then I'll say the precious gift of friendship.
Precious gift of friendship.
Yeah, something I never had so far.
Something you've never had so far. Interesting. And do you think these friends are worth your time? Because they're not paying you.
I gotta say, I have a good feeling about them.
You have a good
Even
feeling.
Cecilia, and that's something to say.
Oh, I mean, if you could convert her to one of our cause, she would make a fine mistress.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. You would love her.
Right? She is, I could see that. But let's not worry about that. So, are you on the right path and you want to make friends? Okay. I can work with that. I'm not mad at you, honey. I'm not mad at all. You've been doing your best. I feel the Yeti furs are going to come out fine. They're going to look nice. I just want to make sure you're happy. I think our best goal here is if you're happy, I'm happy, and our family can keep growing. So how do you feel about all this?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have a nice warm bubble bath and some wine, but whatever you can do.
I mean, if that's something you want, and then she snaps her fingers and you are now in a hot tub. And there are other elven servants of a wide variety around you bringing drinks. And she is, only her feet are in the tub. She's not going to get all the way in the tub. She is very much lounging. And she's
I'm
like,
sorry, I said this is white wine. Could I have red, please? Is that too much to ask?
The servant bows deeply and humbles themselves before you. And the glass changes from white to red.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'd like the Chardonnay better. Thank you.
And again, another servant humbles themselves before you. And your glass changes to what you desire. So we're here having this conversation. You're asking about making friends, which is fine. A hive has its queen and workers and drones. And I could see that. So I just want you to understand that this is going to be a very perilous trip. Are you okay with that? Because if I keep sending you down this path, it's going to be rough.
I mean, so far I've seen way worse in my day-to-day life and work. So
Yeah.
I've had to retrieve some weird shit out of people's ass sometimes. So this to me is just
Mm.
not that
But that was
serious.
that was a job.
Yes.
And this is more of I hate the word adventure. I hate that word. It's so pedantic. It's just really ridiculous to say. This is your goal. And if you really want to kind of reach out and touch someone and touch their heart, I think you're doing well. Do I think so? You asked a question before. Are you on the right path? Are you should you go before the snowstorm, right? That's what you want to know. And well, I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no, because that's just too easy.
Come on.
Yeah, but I like the pain is just as good as the pleasure, and
Damn right. Sorry.
it's okay. I get it. So I'm going to say this. Why don't you trust your gut and trust in your friends? Right? These are your new friends. You want to be friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to be safe with them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, with that being said, do you have anything else you would like to ask me?
Yes. What is your skincare routine? Because your skin is glowing.
Well, it's shea butter, it's honey,
Yeah.
it's ambrosia, which is
Yeah.
you have to use that. And the tears of joy and pleasure and pain. They
Got
have to
it.
both be fresh also. You can't use those like day old tears. Those will get you nowhere.
Sure.
And I think you're gonna have to realize on your own, a good queen to another queen, I have to push you out of the hive a little bit. Okay?
Okay.
You could spread your wings and take off out there and kind of come into your own.
Wow.
I'm not taking away anything from you. You still work with me and we're still on the up and up. It's not a problem at all. I want to see you, kind of come into your own, and I have faith in you. You're a strong person.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Have you ever tried to write poems or haikus? Because you'd be really great at that, I think.
No, I don't write.
Okay.
I have people for that.
Sure.
As you we fade back, you both Nexon and Scarlet are kind of brought abruptly back to reality as Cecilia, Rain, and Marvolo kind of come out the cavern arguing or talking about how Marvolo is going to explodey collodi and collapse the cavern in on itself.
I'd like Scarlet to scream really loudly.
Okay.
Like a shriek.
Yes.
And see what's everyone's reaction.
So are you screaming for a test? Are you testing?
No, I just screamed and I'd like to see what you're gonna do.
Okay.
So yes.
Thank you for the sound effect.
Nexon kind of whatever she's holding just kind of drops and is instantly just staring at Scarlet with this kind of what happened?
You immediately hear the sound of Collodi turning around and then this chainsaw wait, what's it? What's going on? Who's got him? However, Malvolo has ducked behind Rain and Cecilia and basically saying, "Eat them! They're bigger than me."
What? She's gonna grab Malvolo. Come on, we're going out, making sure she's okay.
Cecilia looks around, sees that there's no danger, and then just looks at Scarlet and goes, "Oh, did you finally see your hair in the mirror?"
So I turn back to.
Sorry, I've had that button for ages and I've never pushed it.
I turn back to you and you see, and I am in the fur, and I say, "That's the problem. I don't have any mirror to see myself in the fur."
What?
That's why you screamed.
Yeah, I probably look amazing, and I cannot and I cannot see it.
Rain is just stunned for a second. Like, you think she might be paralyzed. Like, what?
I turned to Rain.
I was
like, "I don't think I can handle this one. This is on you."
But
well, if that's all it is, I was worried you got some bad news.
This isn't bad news to you.
Scarlet, you look fine, dear. Just trust me on this. You are the epitome of gorgeousness.
I know.
I mean, everybody looks fabulous in fur.
Yeah, but I do look especially fabulous in the fur. It goes amazing with my skin, and now I cannot see it. And you guys are lucky to see myself, and I'm not lucky enough to see myself. And this is I'm missing everything.
Well, you know, it is getting quite cold up here, so we might be able to find some ice that, you know, maybe you can catch a little bit of your reflection in that.
All right, next mission, you guys find some ice.
As you say that, Malvolo's pulled out a mirror. He's about to give it to you, and puts it away.
No, give it. We are not going on a mission just for ice. We just discovered. Well, I mean, Cecilia Malvolo found it, but.
Well, Cecilia found it.
Cecilia found it. Fair. Okay, fine. We'll give best attribution as we can. That we are finding horrific runes that continue to pop up all over, and we need to destroy this one and probably find the rest of them before they can be found and used inappropriately. So finding ice is not the most important. So give her the mirror, Malvolo. We know you have one. Just give her a mirror and we can be fine. Also, why do you have one?
Well, I use it for lots of things. I mean, I can't.
You wear a mask most of the time, right?
Yes, but I can't see if things are coming up behind me or around corners. I am very frightened.
Practical of you.
I'm very frightened. Yeah, have you not seen? I've been every now and then, like, if Malvolo takes the lead, which he thankfully has never had to, he definitely uses it to, like, check corners. Hell no. But yeah, I haven't used it, so you can have this, Scarlet.
Oh, thank you so much. Could you hold it for me, please?
I got Kalodi. So now Kalodi has, like, in the center of his chest just a mirror.
So, just.
Actually, probably on his back. That makes more sense. Yeah, because that way we can make sure that we can make sure that Scarlet follows
every time she's walking behind Glody.
Yeah.
She's going to distract herself so much she's going to trip over a branch in the forest.
That has happened to me before. I was distracted by Aaron.
All right. Well, I shouldn't have installed that yet.
Should we blow up the cage?
Yeah, that was what I was just thinking. Kalodi, just come here.
Demolition time.
Pull out the mirror before I explode him. Over there. What? Over here? Yeah, just a little bit further back. Here? No, a little bit further. Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. Wait. I just thought this is going to be quiet, right? Right? We are in... We're with snow everywhere, and I'm assuming a slight incline.
Okay.
Have you heard of avalanches before?
Look, I didn't grow up in the snow. I barely grew up outside.
Oh God, you almost killed. No. Demolition has to go small boom.
Small boom.
On that end, nothing big,
Well,
because
okay. So, well, actually, ironically, I have to increase the size of the explosion so that the yield isn't as loud. So we might need to take a few steps back.
Why are we exploding the cave?
Cecilia?
We found markings similar to the ones from the city of Magma. Inscriptions.
Oh, and we're just trying to make sure no one else can utilize them. I mean, do we need to destroy the cave, or can we just scratch out the markings?
I mean, we
I
could
think-
try.
Potentially, Kalodi could take the chainsaw to the walls.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
going to be way louder than the boom.
Yeah, just because within it would echo a ton within the cavern itself. If we took more time, it would take a long time because there's unfortunately a
Oh,
lot
wait. What am I talking about?
on the-
With my tools, could I, like, just destroy it with my hammer and chisel? Like an actual...
Yeah.
Like,
if you
make a
spent
craft check to just be like...
Yeah.
Oh,
if you
oh!
spent
Could I use a craft check to corrupt the words and change the text entirely?
Yeah, like to graffiti up the
Yeah,
place,
yeah,
sure.
like, the whole grammar word things, like,
Mhm.
it's like, we're supposed to be enslaving rune giants, but instead it says embezzling rune giants. Why would
Yeah,
we
yeah.
embezzle rune giants? That makes no sense. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna make a craft check then. Kalodi, come here. What? Ha! And I reach down his mouth and I pull out my, like, chisel tools and... Alright, I'll be back. And I'm gonna, like, sign, like, a little Kalodi, little Malvolo, like...
Signature. Yeah, it's very Flintstones, if we remember that 90s movie, Time to Date Myself, where they just chiseled on all the stone. It's very similar to that. And you're actually able to quickly change the words. At one point it says Marvolo is the best, but Kalodi is better.
What?
I feel like Kalodi might have thrown something in there on his own accord.
Very well. Also, I do have something a little special. During the little divine intervention, I have something for Cecilia.
Oh.
Let me get this here. Ta-da! So, this is a actual map of the region that we happen to be in. So, Turtleback Ferry and Skull's Crossing is over here, and we are currently climbing Hook Mountain, which is this region where you can see the Hooked Ogre. As we move down and to the west, these are the other locations that we have found traces of the ancient rune magic. Near Windsong Abbey to the south is a small island in the shape of a large head depicting the Runelord Karzog, on top of which is built Thistletop, a goblin stronghold that we visited ages ago. It is also currently the resting place of our dear friend Krut, who has been trapped in there because he was possessed by the Sword of Wrath, a magical artifact that is, keeping him there for now. To the south of that is Sandpoint, where we found the Catacombs of Wrath beneath the glassworks, and we explored there, found like a creepy imp and some ritual chambers. We found runes, but nothing special beyond that. To the south further is where we found the evil cult that was murdering people and sacrificing them in this ritual that had something to do with the Thessalonians. And yes, that is Magnamar right there. And then, of course, we have traveled the very, very sizable distance across the landscape to Turtleback Ferry, and that's where we are now.
Okay.
Star looking yet.
But how cool is the map?
That's a really nice map.
It does kind of line up.
Yeah, it kind of lines up in a, like, almost like a straight line, like almost like it's making an arrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny if it's making an arrow to the final location.
Just saying.
Just have to figure out which way it points.
Yeah.
Probably up. because the other one was an island.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we go into water.
Time for a swim.
So, having Marvolo spend a few moments, in that time, Nexon and Scarlet kind of start to fit everyone for their fur robes. And they fit fine. Two large Yetis should be enough to cover the party. Nexon isn't as large, and Scarlet has a very svelte figure as per their miniature. So you're able to quickly wrap that up. Additionally, Nexon and Scarlet, you have both been granted new powers added to your spell list that they did while we were looking at the map. So, surprise, you both got a new spell that you can cast. That is definitely not part of your normal spell list. Sadly, Scarlet, the map, the spell says Spider Sting, but it should say Bee Sting. I wasn't unable to change the name. They won't let me do that. But it works effectively the same way. And Nexon, yours should be obvious which one it is.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, everyone kind of bundles up. Rain finishes the Yeti meat in the next hour or so. She salts it and starts to she puts it more or less into a bag with a lot of salt so that the travel will start to grind the salt into the meat as you go. And that will be enough travel rations probably to get you up and down the mountain. I'm not going to promise the taste, but it should, if food's necessary, you have it. And the party makes their way out. And now it's starting to get a little darker. Rain and Cecilia, can I get survival checks from the two of you?
Yep.
Survive. I don't know. Boom. 21.
Not bad. Yep.
Less.
Get a little stormy out. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
This.
As you're going up and starting your way up the mountain, right? So you're at the foot base of the mountain, more or less, and you're prepping each other out. I'm going to say you guys start to use rope to attach each other on. That's just basic survival etiquette. So you don't get lost in any kind of storm. And also you're traveling up a mountain side, which is going to take you some time. As you start to progress up the mountain, it starts to snow. And again, it's now getting heavier. And Cecilia, you're getting a headache. A worse and worse headache as you travel up and up the mountain. And at first you're like, did I forget something? Did I leave the stove on? Like that headache you get because you constantly keep overthinking something. That's what it feels like at first. Yeah. And now it starts to get worse and worse. And then it starts to sound like a voice. And you're going to have to make a will save, but with a disadvantage.
Will save.
Because I'm going to use my jinx point on you.
Oh.
Is it just rolling will?
Yeah, so you just roll your will. So you just drag the number over and...
Yeah.
That dice went all over the place on mine. I was freaking out.
Yeah, it just bounced around on my map just now. I was like, whoa. So you roll one more because I'm using my jinx point. I'm hoping for that one.
Oh, no.
Because I'm a monster. All right, not bad. I mean, not good, but not bad. 23. As you're going up the mountain, you start to hear a voice, and it's a very effeminate voice, a voice you heard before. It is a red-headed female voice that you've heard before, and now it's calling to you, making your blood boil, and it tells you, it speaks to you, it speaks to the primal part of your body that says, this is just food. Why are you working with food, you're better than them. You shouldn't be tied to them. Cattle don't, they're cattle to you. You're a huntress. You should be out there hunting stronger, and your fangs start to descend, and you could feel your blood, that part of you, boiling up as you fight it. And that's where we'll take our 15-minute break so everyone can use the potty.
I would just like to add, can at that moment turn to Cecilia, unknowing of what's happening, and look at her and say, "Don't I look like a big chicken like this?" And kind of move around.
Visual.
She's gonna pour barbecue sauce on herself a little bit.
Yes, that's all.
But yeah, that's where we'll take our break. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed. Please stick around. Let's see if they could get up the mountain without too much of a problem, and we'll see how Cecilia handles this in a little bit. So we'll be right back. Thank you for donations, subscribing, and all that great jazz. We love you. bringing up horseshoes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're not quite back yet, but I found that this conversation was very interesting, so I wanted to let you all in on it. We're currently talking about different styles of barbecue that we all enjoy, because of course apparently there are apparently bunches of different barbecues. I just thought there was just regular and then Korean, but apparently I was wrong. And we're about to hear what our lovely Becker finds to be the best kind of barbecue. What's your favorite type of barbecue?
This isn't barbecue, but this is an iconic dish from my hometown.
Okay.
Called horseshoes. And you start off with 2 pieces of Texas toast. I'm going to build this, so come with me on this journey.
Sure.
2 giant pieces of Texas toast. On top of that, you can start with any kind of meat. Most classics have like a big hamburger patty, like a pound sort of thing. I love to do buffalo chicken. So I have fried buffalo chicken, and you set that on top of each of those pieces of Texas toast. Then you cover the entire.
Yeah, what is Texas toast for us
think
who?
like 2 and 3 inches thick bread, like super thick bread.
Got it.
Like the size of a normal piece of bread, like in terms of length, but width, it's much thicker.
So probably like Helga's bread for us, AJ.
No, I'm picturing the like Japanese toast cafe that they have in
Oh,
Perth.
those like logs of bread.
Like 2-inch thick
Yeah.
slices of bread.
Okay.
2 inches would be right.
All right, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, thick like garlic bread.
Garlic bread. All right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
When you have
gotcha,
that.
gotcha.
So you have your Texas toast, so big bread, big giant chunks. You put your meat on top of it. You cover the entire thing where you can't see that anymore with fries. Crinkly fries are the best.
Okay.
And you cover those fries with melted cheese. The cheese sauce is what makes it. People choose which restaurant they like based on the cheese sauce, but you cover the entire thing with cheese then. And then if you're extra, you put chili on top of it.
So what's your
When
favorite cheese?
So at what point does this get served in like a bucket?
Oh, no buckets.
On a
This is
plate.
like massive plates. You can get a horseshoe. If you don't want a full horseshoe, you get a pony shoe. And if you want a kid's version, you get the Shetland pony.
All right.
So,
All right. Look,
I
I feel
have 2 questions.
Yeah,
For the
there's
non-
you've probably got the same questions I do. So yeah.
For the non-Australian, what is cheese sauce?
Oh, it's
And when you say chili, do you mean like mince? Like what's it called?
Like chili con carne.
Like chili con carne?
yeah.
Or do you mean like chili
Closer
as
to
in
that.
cut up slices of chili?
Not
No,
cut
no,
up
no, no.
slices.
Okay.
More like beans with a
Beans with mince and sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question was a lot simpler. Why is it called a horseshoe?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Because it forms a horseshoe with the 2 slices of bread and the meat.
It actually is all covered, like it's a giant pile of food.
Yeah, it looks like it, I mean, but yeah, just
A pile.
heap of grease just doesn't roll off the tongue as well as horseshoe, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's because they can't call it horse shit.
Ah.
It is delicious. You take that back.
All right,
It
we're
is one of
fighting.
the best things in the
Look,
world.
look. Okay. Well, look, Australians and Americans getting into a chat to talk about barbecue is going to be volatile. Okay, but we'll say this. We all enjoy a good barbecue, and however you want to celebrate it, as long as you're eating it with good people, good food, and of course, delightful and scintillating conversation, it is a barbecue to go to anyway. So long as it's not Korean barbecue, because I hate the idea of not cooking, of cooking my meat when I go out to eat at a place. If I go to a restaurant, I don't want to be cooking for myself. But I know I've been yelled at about it all the time. I'm one of those
It's
people.
so brilliant.
Yeah, I'm super Australian. Have you not seen the name? It's fine. I think it's very tasty though. Korean barbecue is delicious, but it comes with a big heaping of salt for Michael. All right. Anyway.
I love when you get like a salt rock and a raw piece of steak and they make you cook your own steak at a restaurant, but it seems real fancy. Has anyone done that?
Yes, that's
It's like a hot rock covered in salt and you can just cook your own meat on it. Anyway,
Yep,
I'm going on food tangent.
That's it. We're on
Stag.
food
You
tangent.
need to
Well,
get
this is why I decided to
hungry.
bring our audience into it. Just to recap, we are discussing barbecue. McBluff, welcome in. We've got BRM who said with buffalo wings, I'd use provolone or mozzarella cheese. And it's Texan, so of course it's not just big; it's flipping enormous. Says Noria. Which, by the way, Noria is, I believe, and do correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Noria is it's from Germany. So when we talk about big serves of meat, trust me when I say the Germans know how to do it. Like I've never eaten.
Yeah, we do.
I've never eaten more meat than at a German smorgasbord. Like holy crap! Like that was nuts.
We get a whole pork knuckle.
I've done the whole pork knuckle before.
I miss my German food.
And Phoenix is yelling at me because how dare yakiniku is amazing. And you know, same thing. Yes, Ari.
Yes, it's from Springfield. The dish.
Springfield, Illinois is where
Isn't that the town from The Simpsons?
Springfield as The Simpsons. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We were
It's
not
the exact
voted
same
as
place.
The Simpsons, but they do live in. There's like 20 Springfields
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Not very
Empty
unique with their
Springfield?
names. There's
Alright.
there's at least 20.
Well,
They
see,
did
yeah,
a
give or
massive
take.
vote. I think it's so they did decide. Like they let the public decide which Springfield it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember which one won, but yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, bit of Springfield trivia and some meat to get everyone who is not to get everyone super hungry. We're gonna go back to our regularly scheduled program, but thank you guys for coming on this delightful meat-filled journey. We are going live, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're already live. You get what I mean. We're going to our faces. We're facing it in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're back. We're look at our lovely faces. Thank you for sticking around. It's been a wild ride. I just want to say thank you very much to all the donations. You guys are killing it, and we're actually filling up that boss meter pretty quickly. So I talked to Michael about this, and we kind of had like a pretty cool idea of a boss fight. All I'm going to say is it had you could fish with the object that might come up in this boss battle. It is a common fishing item. But with that being said, I'm not going to keep going on. Just so that you know, if you're new or you're just jumping in right now, the way you fill up that boss meter and allow my players to deal with something that has to do with fishing, they're through donations. At the $5 tier, you can give a jinx point, which is something for me, the GM, to use on my players, which makes them roll basically at disadvantage. Or you could give my players a hero point, which allows them to roll at advantage, which is pretty awesome. For $10, you could give them the Mighty Sin Boon, which is a magical ability. So it has to deal with one of the 7 deadly sins, because we are playing Rise of the Runelords, which, if you don't know, I'm going to inform you, the Runelords are magical, think like super powerful wizards, all based on one of the 7 deadly sins, which correlate to a specific school of magic. So greed, lust, wrath, all the really cool ones. For $20, you could do the thing and give one of us a nat 20, which actually saved a lot of butts so far, one of the better options. And for a $50 donation, you could give a mythical item or a wandering NPC. So if you were here with us last season, in the last chapter, we had really 3 awesome wandering NPCs. We had Atlas, the alchemist, and the ranger, who showed up, and they were helping out. And Atlas, the tank, who for a while was Kalodi, which was really fun. And Nexon had a little side story with Atlas and them, who kept on giving out citations, which turned out to be very useful, by the way. But yeah, so and just now, actually, Nexon's magical item brought them to the astral plane, and they got to talk with a few deities, which was pretty cool. So those are coming in. And then if we hit $100 donation into that boss meter, we get the really cool boss battle that has to deal with fishing. So yeah, that's a thing. But it's all love. Any donation you give, we very much appreciate. So thank you very much. And if you're just tuning in, I'm tired of just hashing out donations. Let me throw it back to my players and let them know where they are. Cecilia is about to murder everyone. That's kind of where we are. No, real talk. Nexon and Scarlet got to meet their goddesses, their prospective deities. And it was pretty cool. Michael made one of the coolest figures I've ever seen in the history. Well, terrifying also. It was Nyx in a suit, because Nyx became bipedal for a while. Nyx is a little spider, and there they are in a suit. I didn't know that was possible, but thanks to our sponsors on Hero Forge, you too can make a weird spider monster and terrify your players with it. And Scarlet got to meet her deity, which was pretty awesome. And they got to like talk about like where they're going and how to open and be aware of what's happening around them. Both Scarlet and Nexon both received new spells, which was pretty cool. And then made beautiful Yeti fur coats for everyone as they head up the mountain. As they were heading up, Cecilia started to get a terrible headache as she kept going. And then she started to hear a voice pop up in her head, telling her, driving her into a bloodlust, because Cecilia is, while a cat person, is also a huntress. Let's not forget. And she has pointy teeth. You could take that to wherever you want. But yeah, and that's where we pick up. So they just started. You guys all just started. The snow is now coming down. What was once beautiful is now scary. The Yeti fur coats is actually surprisingly super warm. To that point where, like, and Rain's rocking it. Rain's taking point.
This is a child's blanket.
I love it.
Blending in with your hair.
There you go. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's super warm to the point where, like, you get like the beads of sweat on your foreheads because you're so warm, but it's nice. It's that's what you want. Cecilia, you're kind of pacing with Rain. The two of you have that like huntress technique going on that you started building when you started hunting down the bear earlier, that turned into a Yeti fight. As you're doing that, you start to like get that headache. You hear that voice telling you these are cattle. They are less than you. You should be above them. They should be serving you. You're more than this, and you deserve more.
Did I fail my will save?
Yes, you did with a 23. She is imposing her will. She is trying to dominate you via.
Perfect. If I failed it, then as Scarlet turns around asking me if she looks like a chicken, I'm going to like just slowly walk into her comfort zone. And I think this is the first time Cecilia has played any sort of alluring card. She goes from her usual stoic demeanor to a slight smirk, like a vampire. And just sort of holds onto the fur of Scarlet's, like around her neck, and just says, "Yes, kind of," and pulls her closer and leans her teeth towards Scarlet's neck.
Scarlet definitely thinks she's getting a kiss, and wonders if she's into it. And she's like, "Oh, maybe it's some kind of enemies to lovers kind of story." And so, but then she pulls herself back together and pushes back Cecilia. Like, no, it's too soon. It's too soon in the adventure. We can like make up now.
I think Cecilia, she's gotten pushed away. That would have made the hunt more fun. So I think Cecilia just does a slow like look up from Scarlet's feet to her face, like incredibly slowly, and just says, "Are you sure?"
And I go, yes, this is getting creepy. And I leave and hide behind Rain.
What?
The moment you turn, Cecilia will pounce on your the neck that's showing by you moving.
What does pounce mean?
Leap.
Like, leap.
Okay.
I'm glad
When
we
your
all
cat-
did the hand movement, by the way.
Your cat jumps at something that has been stalking.
Pounce. Like when your cat launches at like a toy.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. As soon as your neck is slightly showing by turning, I'm gonna attack and bite down.
Okay, I try and grab my whip as fast as I can and whip it and say, "Down, girl!"
With that crack, everyone kind of like now, you know, everyone was like trudging through the snow, and with that crack, it kind of pulls everyone's attention to what's happening. Cecilia, you have that moment of like, you know, like you're startled, like out of almost a walking dream, and your fangs are still visible. They're long, almost like saber like, and
does it snap me out of the trance?
it startles you for a very fast moment. You can make another will save.
Okay.
Oh no.
Then, if I failed that twice, the whip angers me further. I bite down harder and I start to drink Scarlet's blood.
So as the whip cracks, the startled, like Cecilia has that moment where she's startled, and hearing the whip crack maybe drags you to a dark place in your memory where as a young child you might have, you know, allow yourself that moment of hunt, and maybe it reminds you of a bottle falling as you attacked a certain prey, and it drives you deeper into that lust, that drive, as your fangs kind of protrude, and you now bite quickly down onto Scarlet. You feel the pinch as it goes into more like the lower part of your neck, almost onto your shoulder where your collarbone would be near there. And there's a small, if anyone's ever had this happen to them, there's like it's kind of like ice on metal as her tooth kind of crosses your collarbone. And yeah, see that I got two people with it, as you could feel the bone on bone action happen. And Scarlet kind of lets out a very I would assume like a more of a yelp in terror, as Cecilia now has clamped down onto her and start to drink. Roll a d4, Cecilia, as that's how much Scarlet is going to lose. 4, solid. It happens every time there's like a little player on player action. There's always the players will always roll super high.
Could I roll a nature check on catfolk? Like, do they like mini cats, like, or animals, like if you pick them up by the scruff of their neck, it can be slightly disarming? I don't want to hurt my friends.
Yes, no, of course.
Well, the idea of you being like bad cat picking me up, Scarlet.
I'm big enough to do it. I'm gonna try. It's either that or I was gonna ram my shield into you. Let me know what you prefer.
Yeah,
I probably the violence.
I'm just half. I also half imagine there's this indignant. like still
I'm
fighting.
Definitely more on the vampire side than the cat side right now. So
I think maybe they do have that. They're bipedal cat people. So you can make a nature check. Let's nature check to see if you could grab her by her scruff.
Does that work with adult cats? Surely it does,
No,
right?
It does. It
Right.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone
cat
who had
owner.
a cat just answered
Yeah.
that one. Yes, it does. It works perfectly fine.
So Rain, your best guess is like, okay, I don't want to hurt my friend. I know this works on cats for the most
Mhm.
part.
I had some
She-
barn cats growing up.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
not to be rude, but she is a humanoid cat person, so you're gonna give it a go. You're gonna give it
Yes.
a. So you reach out to kind of grab her,
No, I just want to separate the fight right now.
yeah, to like kind of put
I mean,
them.
I think it's a fight. I have no really understanding of what's going on because I'm not used to people biting other people.
So you're gonna just roll an athletics check to kind of like grab her
Um,
and to like separate.
could I make an occultism check to know about vampires?
Yes. Oof.
35.
22 on my occultism.
One moment, Marvolo.
Yeah, take your time with me. I don't need. I'm not intervening. Hell no, I ain't going near that.
Actually, Marvolo wants to
on
know
in.
how to get away.
Yes, this is
I
all
would
about
assume-
escaping.
I would assume
Uh,
because I'm humanoid but cat folk that I don't have that skin, but that you can still probably lift me with a 35.
Yeah, that's
You just
what we're
grab
gonna.
her by the hair and just.
Just grab my hair and pull
Yeah,
me
pulling
back.
Yeah.
you back. I'm used to, I've split up some cat fights before, not between literal cats. So I'm gonna pull the two of you apart. Not really sure what has happened, and I'm gonna look at Ari and be like, "Are you okay?" For you, Cecilia, you are now dangling with your feet in the air. I'm holding you up high enough that at least you can't touch the ground. Are you okay? Scarlet, you're bleeding.
Am I still conscious at this point?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She didn't like knock you unconscious. She just bit down and started to give you the weirdest hickey ever.
I am gonna cast calm emotions on Cecilia right away.
Awesome. By casting that, Cecilia can make a because she is your friend, right? Friend. Cecilia, you can make a will save with advantage because she's giving you advantage.
All right.
Now we're just looking for yeah, there you go. All right, 17. So the 32 pulls you out of your bloodlust. Scarlet like launches the wave of, and you get that smell of honey and perfume, and it's nice and a little leather. And Rain like holding you back, like manhandling you. Marvolo, you do know with your check with a 22, which is exactly what you needed. And this is why I love this system a little bit. There's a recall knowledge check. So vampires actually, the one Cecilia's bloodline does come from, has all the typical vampire weaknesses. So garlic, running water. She doesn't have to count seeds. That's actually a separate bloodline that has that problem where they have to like actually count from like Sesame Street. But garlic and running water and holy symbols affect vampires like that.
Didn't we go in under a waterfall? Haven't I been around running water this entire time?
You're not a vampire. You're a damn.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, sorry, I didn't
Okay.
ask about Dampiers. I've assumed you are a full-blooded vampire, and I've
Yeah,
also
and-
assumed that. Well, I mean, actually, probably one big giveaway would probably be that the sun is a big thing, right?
Oh, and sunlight. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So if the sunlight's a
We've
big
been
thing,
out
then
in
I'm like,
daylight.
she's not a Dampier. Oh, sorry, she's not a vampire, which means she's likely a half vampire or a Dampier, which is I use the term loosely, a lesser breed. This means that
Excuse
bear with me,
You wanna
bear with
try?
me. All I mean to
That
say
was
is
a
that
different
her bite is
strain.
not contagious. She's not like Scarlet's not going to now turn into a vampire. This is my main concern here. Malvolo basically just turns around and goes, Jesus, as he watches this artery just Because that's what arteries do. As Malvolo's like, I need to help, but it's so squirty. Kalodi.
I'm just
Nexon's gonna pull out like a bit of cloth and just kind of throw it to Malvolo and just be like, staunch the wound.
Thank you. I grab the cloth and I move it around. And I'm going. Okay, my medicine check is gonna succeed, right? Because minimum I get like 30 something. I would like to roll anyway to see how clean I remain with my very white suit while
Fair
I'm
enough.
doing this.
And in the meantime, I like to point to Cecilia and yell, "She has a poultry kink!"
You watch. I think for anyone who's noticing Cecilia, because I think most of you are focused on the wound. But anyone who is noticing Cecilia will see a difference in like when the calm emotions takes over. The way that Cecilia is looking at Scarlet sort of fades completely. The teeth sort of retract, and there is just this look of shock, guilt, shame, like so much emotion crossing Cecilia's face that you've probably never seen before.
Rain will notice this. She's going to release, not you, Scarlet, and she's going to carry you close to a trunk of a tree and set you down on it, kind of putting both hands on your shoulders, getting rather close. I think we need to have a talk. Now.
She was in my head.
You're going to have to help me out with this. Cecilia, what you did was not okay.
I
It was
know.
downright
I know.
terrifying. What was in your head?
The red-headed woman. She spoke to me.
How did she
took
speak?
over me?
She took over you. How does she even have this connection with you? You've been with us the entire time. How would you?
I don't know. She must be in the area. She charmed me or something. She told me to take over with my nature, and I haven't drunk from anyone in almost a decade. I don't want to be that monster.
So you fought this, right? You fought the voice. You're telling me
Of course I did. Who do you think I am?
You haven't been exactly amicable with her. I want you to be honest with me. I will believe whatever you say next. But you have not exactly exuded kindness, my dear.
Can you blame me? Can you blame me? Honestly, honestly, I understand that you are kind-hearted, Rain, but with the amount of shit she puts us through constantly, can you blame me?
I can't blame you for reacting in most cases, but today, obviously, we had a much bigger reaction. What just happened? She's going to lower her voice and kind of crouch down even further, almost sitting now across from you, eye level. You could have killed her.
You don't think I understand that?
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you understand. The rest of us do not. It's not like you have been an open book, my dear. And it's a good thing that she had an effect on you afterwards, that you can relax at this point, but none of us know how to help you in this. What if she gets in your voice again? I understand we're very different in these spaces and how we choose to react and engage, but you can't handle this alone. And you've been putting up a lot of walls lately, and I understand we are fairly new, but this means you can't be so walled off anymore.
I know this might not seem like it from your perspective, but this is as open as I has ever been. I told you yesterday about my bloodline. I have opened up more in the last week than I have ever done in my life. So I'm sorry that I'm not your type of adventurer, that I'm a monster, that I'm dangerous, and that I attacked Scarlet.
Hearing you describe yourself as a monster again, Rain is going to instinctively reach out and try to touch you, whether it's your hand or if you move your hand, perhaps your knee, but to try to break this distance of perhaps even a physical barrier that feels to be between us. You're not a monster.
But you're right, I could have killed her. I don't like that I'm this way. I don't. I should stay behind.
No. Look at me. Look at me, please. And she's going to start to cradle your hands a little bit more now with both of her hands. You are choosing not to be this way. You are not. You are not a monster. And we are not leaving you behind.
But what if she gets in my head? I can't control it.
We will find some solution together. And she's going to almost kind of pull you a little bit closer. We're doing this together. Because on your own, you're not going to be okay. I don't want to leave you alone.
I don't understand how you can comfort me right now. But I appreciate it.
She's going to cup your face in her hands. Look at me. We've all looked in the mirror at some point. I know I have many times with this face and thought we were monsters. That this wasn't who we wanted to be. This isn't who we dreamed we would be. You are so much more than this. You are stronger than this. And just because you are, oh gosh, you are working through this, doesn't mean you have to do that alone.
I don't think I can face her right now. If she says one ridiculously sassy comment, I don't hate her. I don't. She rubs me up the wrong way. She just happened to be in front of me. I could have bitten any of you.
No, I know.
As the two of you are working together, we pan back over to Marvolo and Nexon and Scarlet. Marvolo is just kind of wrapping, finishing up the bandages on Scarlet's neck.
I gonna turn into a vampire? Because I don't want to turn into a vampire. I'm already sexy, can pull off leather, and it's eternal, so I don't need vampire shit right now.
Look, I don't know if you realize this, but it is very difficult to operate on one's neck while you are talking. You know what? Vampirism is not contagious except if you are not very quiet.
Really? Okay.
I check and inspect the wound. How deep is it?
She said, sorry.
It's let's say like maybe like an inch. That's pretty
An inch.
deep.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Like 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This damage wise, it's fine. I'm just kind of like very slowly suturing the wound closed. I don't have anesthetic, so I'm gonna look over to Nexon and explain. Listen, this is quite a severe wound, and I need to get in there to be able to properly close it. Otherwise, she is going to bleed out here. I need her to.
Going to bleed out.
I'm whispering this away. just we're next to the patient. Oh yes, no, she's a goner. I'm afraid. No, I whisper next, and I need something to be able to keep her still, calm, and maybe help with the pain. Do you have anything?
I'm gonna unmute myself first.
There you go.
I'm gonna pull out some string and a couple of little like charms and look up at Scarlet and say, if you can't help me concentrate, if you can hold out your hand so I can kind of thread this in, I can make you a little charm that will help protect, help make sure you don't turn into a vampire.
Sorry, doing this.
So I just need you to like hold your hands out real still so I can kind of use you as a stand for the string.
Okay.
And I'm essentially going to be like making a friendship bracelet for Scarlet.
Thank you.
Buttons will also walk over and just be like,
No, thank you.
possible.
Yeah. I'm saying yes. Not an invitation for you to hug me, fungi thingy.
Hey, it's just a fun guy.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm going to lean in and I'm going to try to suture the wound. As he does so, I'm kind of taken aback. Even though Malvolo has his problems with his germophobia, he doesn't hesitate. His gloves are staining with red as he's slowly working to try and seal the wound. But as he does, he sees Rain and Cecilia. He thinks, in a way, we're all not the best people for the task at hand. Malvolo remembers that he was the first to arrive from the past, from the realm of sloth of all places, being thrown into a world that he did not understand, with people he did not recognize. Finding the kindness of the people around him, it was so far away from him even remotely thinking that there may have been a grand destiny of any of us being able to try and stop Runelords and giants and monsters and all this other stuff. It wasn't until he met his carpenter friend, who showed him that there was so much in this world that didn't need to ride on our shoulders. Then Nexon, Cassandra, Crut, Rain, all of them showed up one after the other, and things just kept getting bad to worse. But he never once thought that we were responsible for the misfortunes. He never once thought that the people that we were ever going to be the biggest, the strongest. The people who were, who should have been here were the champions of the Thessalonian Empire, the Rune Knights themselves, and the great wizards of the ancient Rune Wells, not some child with puppets, and certainly not a gnome seamstress. Oh, sorry, and a bartender from the realm of necromancy. These are all just insane combinations of people to be undergoing this task. But seeing Cecilia in that moment, he realized something. Is that we weren't meant to be here to solve the problems of the world. We were here for each other. That now Malvolo, having come so far, has grown so much more in the short time he has gotten to know these people. And in his own head, as he's performing the surgery, thinks to himself, the woman beneath me and under my hand and under my care has put so much faith in me. I have to protect her. The same way my friend protected me. Because we don't know yet how important we are to each other. And maybe that's what we're learning. That's what our journey is all about. And with that, he bites the thread, hands Nexon the cloth that he gave. His hands his hands would be trembling from the blood and stuff, but they're stay steady and calm. All right, try to sit up slowly, if you will, Scarlet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nexon's gonna kind of quickly prestidigitate the blood off of the white
Oh, thank you.
White
Thank
cloak.
you so much.
Yeah, it's like it never even happened.
Yeah, awesome. Just a bit tired.
Malvolo, you go. I just want to check on Rain and Cecilia real quick.
I'm okay. Scarlet, here, drink this. It's just water, but I've mixed some sugar syrup into it as well. And I'll sit down and tend to Scarlet.
Thank you. Bottoms up.
Mine
great.
is whiskey.
But I do feel better.
I'm glad. I kind of look at Scarlet and I say, now you know that you can't continue provoking Cecilia like the way, like, what she has inside her is not something to be prodded at like an animal in a cage. It is dangerous. And I may have been able to help you today, but the wound was deep. And there may be a time where I'm not here. You flirt
Are
with
you
many
victim blaming me?
No. You
Oh.
flirt with many things. I'm just saying, as a master of all things flirtatious, I hope that you can understand that not all have your level of control.
Sure, I won't be imitating a chicken next to her anymore. Happy?
I take another drink. I'm not good at this. I fix people. I'm a carpenter. I whittle birds. I don't know why I'm doing this.
No, sorry. I just
it's
use humor to get out of situations like this. But yeah, okay, I'll be nicer to Cecilia. I mean, I'm going to try. Can't guarantee anything, but okay, you're right.
Malvolo sits a little closer to you, which is something he doesn't often do. So he just sits down and just keeps you company.
Then I smile to him and say, "Thank you, by the way."
He bows.
Alright.
Nexon, as you start to walk over towards Rain and Cecilia, you could see tears are welling up on both their faces. Cecilia seems to be calm, and you start to stride over to them. As you do, you have a strange feeling. Firstly, you have a strange feeling in your heart as you can now that friendship bracelet you made, one of the other bracelets on your arm every so often will throb like a heartbeat, as if you can feel Scarlett's heartbeat through that connection. You now start to stride over and you step and you stumble a little bit. At first you think it's the snow, and you look down and there's kind of like a small pothole. Like you stepped into it, the ground was a bit uneven. And you kind of pull your foot out, right? Because it went deeper than the snow. You pull your foot out, and then you see some of the snow kind of collapse down as if there was something under there. You look down, you peek into the hole, and it's maybe about 12, 13 inches big at this point. You know, some of the dirt has collapsed down. So it's a fairly large hole, and you look down, and then something shoots by underneath the light of the moon that's now rising through the clouds of the snowstorm. Cecilia, Rain, as you both are kind of holding each other at a distance. Rain, you're crouched down, something shakes you a little bit, and I guess it helps lighten the mood. You kind of fall on your butt a little bit as the ground shook. And at that point, you make eye contact with Nexon. As you can see, she's maybe an arm's distance away. The both of you make eye contact just as the ground erupts behind you, and a massive creature with a silver head kind of comes shooting out of this hole, and it roars. And that is where we will stop for today.
I'm sorry.
I hope we have all had fun.
What?
It was amazing. I did give everyone, I told Michael to give everyone a hero point for the amazing role play today. You guys killed it. AJ, thank you very much for that. I had to check in on AJ. I was like, I don't know if this is real, like what is happening. Ari, thank you very much for that. The two of you worked out amazing and have brought this to a new level, and I appreciate you both. As always, it is an honor to play with Becca, Michael, and Dawn. Doing this so long, it is just really an honor to play with you guys. I keep coming back for it. I don't know why. But yeah, so that is where we will end it today, and I'll throw it over to my amazing cast. As always, the amazing Dawn, who got to see the monster.
Sorry, super fast. Number one is we had a couple of donations during that big emotional scene. So I'm currently in the works of putting these down together. So we got from Mike the Tall, we have a hero point for both Rain and Cecilia for an amazing and incredible roleplay, which I absolutely agree with. And we have also received a $20 donation from Noria, who has yet to tell us where it's going to go. But ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of a boss bar.
Is that what that silver thing is? Is that what that silver thing is?
Is it a worm, by the way? I was trying to work out what relates to fishing.
Well,
Dang it.
well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the time zone, but we technically do have another 15-20 minutes if you want to discuss a little bit about what your plan is while I quickly change the layout.
Sure.
I could almost use this to
wanna
decompress.
thank everyone as well.
Yeah.
Like I love role playing. I love getting into characters. That moment of like player versus player is very intriguing to me. And it has just like upped the dynamics of this group. Like whatever Scarlett and Cecilia's tension is, that now needs to be resolved. The Rain and Cecilia friendship has grown tenfold. And I could not do that without this incredible cast. Like honestly, so cool.
It's been a really
Yeah.
beautiful setup to see this, kind of see the groundwork, and then a lot of it really just explode today in a very powerful way. It's going to be a turning point from here on out, which is exciting to see how our characters evolve. It's an evolutionary step here, and it's beautiful.
AJ, you were absolutely fantastic. I was about to cry too, and for me the emotion rose when Rain said, "Whatever you're gonna say next, I'm gonna believe you." Oh my god, I could cry right now. That was so beautiful, insane.
I know. I was crying too. Goodness. They're good cries. Sometimes it's healthy to cry.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and you know, like getting to watch like one of my biggest, like, I guess, you know, like sort of proud moments when it comes to like, you know, producing shows and getting to see just how absolutely amazing you guys are as performers is moments like this where you're just like, you don't need to do anything, you don't need to say anything, no dice need to even hit the table. Everything there is about your characters just being so vivid and so in the moment that you can't do anything but just get sucked into the world of the game. And you know, getting to watch everything, getting to watch Rain and Cecilia kind of do their thing was a true amazing moment of like, because and I don't want to I'm not going to spoil anything, I want that to be rest assured, but we have seen a little bit of Cecilia's, you know, kind of the shoulder, the thing that she is carrying as well as for Malvolo. But we have not yet, throughout all of this time, seen the other side of Rain. And as obviously the producer, and of course with Jared being the GM, we have the insider scoop. So that whole scene has hit me super, super hard as well. Knowing, of course, what this might mean. And I hope, Becca, that you will run and ride with this story, and hopefully we'll get to share all of that amazing wonderment, because I think that's just going to be an awesome story arc for Cecilia and Rain to blow up into just this amazing friendship. And Nexon, can I just say as well, like, you know, like, I honestly was so nervous about playing a cowardly character, but having you there, like, just constantly looking after my character is just like one of my highlights of every game. Like, anytime you cast prestidigitation, or as soon as you're like, I'm having my doubts or having things like, oh, here's a cloth, no words need to happen. Malvola doesn't need to ever ask or say anything. Nexon has this inherent sense of like what my character needs, and I gotta say, like, that's not just coming from a character, that's coming from you as a player. You're so perceptive and so intuitive as a role player, and I just love having you just by my side. It's awesome.
Yeah, I figured, you know, our two characters have kind of known each other the longest, so she's most kind of dialed into what sets Malvolo off.
Yeah, yes, yeah, absolutely.
And the accent is always amazing, Don. A real treat to the ears. It's fun, it's fantastic.
All right, so we do have a natural 20 that was given by Noria to Cecilia. So Cecilia, you now have a nat 20.
Thank you so much.
As does Rain, and everyone except for Rain and Cecilia has 2 hero points, with Rain and Cecilia now with 3.
Which is good that we're going into the boss battle next.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll need it.
I'll
need that nat 20 to apologize to Scarlett at this point.
Roll high on persuasion here.
All right. Jared, the scene is yours. You can do with it what you will.
Sure.
Did you want? I mean, did you? We have the silver thing, but anything else you want to kick off with, or?
Do you have an image that we could throw up?
Oh, I can
it's
throw up
definitely
an image.
going.
Yeah. While we do the outros,
We
I
can
throw
have
up an image.
nightmares for a week.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
definitely so. Hitting the boss meter at that exact moment was kind of perfect, as you have that like silvery creature kind of erupting out of the ground. Rain kind of falling on your tush into the snow, having that like little laugh, like the laughter that breaks up the sad moment between friends. And then you and Nexon making that eye contact. Nexon, I want to be very clear with you. You now can your bond with Scarlet kind of comes through that friendship bracelet. You can always kind of test to see how can I say this? In video games, you have a life bar. Nexon now has the ability to kind of see people's life bar with that
Ooh.
friendship bracelet. It's just a little magical thing. You guys are just killing it with roleplay. Magical items are cool to give out, but it's way cooler when your characters make them. So Nexon kind of made that. So that might be something you want to do for the rest of your players. But yeah, you have a small ability to kind of test life bars. But yeah, this creature kind of erupts out. It's massive. It's large. Yeah, it's that thing.
Hey.
Wow.
As it
Okay.
as it erupts out of the snow, its mouth just tentacles going every which way.
Why does it have arms? Why does
Got little
it
arms.
Has arms and tentacles.
look like a T-Rex?
Yeah.
What
That thing
is
is
it?
horrifying.
Is it like a seal-shaped body?
It's kind of like a seal-like body, but it has like a mouth that can erupt out with tentacles that pulls things in. Those arms, if you've ever seen, and the best way to put it, because I think everyone has at this point, so Avatar: The Last Airbender. You remember the how she learns earthbending with those
Yeah.
like underground.
Giant-
Yeah. So that's kind of how this thing moves. It's with its arms. That's why they're like big like that.
Are you saying we can either defeat it or learn snowbending?
Yes, that's definitely an option. But yeah, it erupts and it's massive. Its silver body hits the air, throwing snow everywhere, and it kind of lets out a roar. Right, all good monsters let out a roar.
Oh yeah.
And
Ground just rumbles with it, I bet.
oh yeah, it shakes the ground, and the hole it just comes out of. And you notice that it's actually dense, like just on its plates, they interact and lock. And
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
armored.
yeah,
Oh,
But it looks fairy on the underside, so maybe it has some weak spots. Just saying.
it was actually
Well, funny story. The image which I picked up originally, it was supposed to be a little bit different, but I found this one and it was a better version because I thought it was amazing. But this creature has another colloquial name, which I think that most people would know by now, and that is, of course, the land shark.
yes.
Ooh.
No, yeah. Land sharks.
shark.
And it also every time it attacks, it sings the Baby Shark song.
Instead of the jaws.
Oh, now that's
it's
gonna be
Baby
stuck in my head.
Sorry, Don.
Oh
The
man,
Baby Shark song.
yeah,
It's just the Baby Shark song, but in a minor key.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So bullets, right? That's how we pronounce that.
correct.
I'm always bad.
Actually,
Yes.
well, it depends. I mean, I feel like the best person to ask would be Ari.
Ari, how would you pronounce if I gave you this word? Because it's
Bullet?
definitely bullet.
Boulette.
Bullet. Well,
Thank
because
you.
here's the thing. It is a French monster. It's actually cryptology wise, it's a creature from French mythology, which is why often it gets pronounced either Bulette or Boulet or Boulette.
It's
Filet sounds like a dish.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, bullets are
That's what
basically
you
like
make out of it.
Boulette?
meatballs.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's just to reassure everyone, it's a funny word even in French. Like boulette is pretty funny.
So if we look at this creature like, I'm gonna make meatballs out of ya as a threat. Is it more effective?
Yeah.
Totally
I had a group that just called them baguettes.
But
Because
don't
of how
call
they're
them
shaped.
land shark balls if you do make meatballs, because land shark balls sounds wrong.
Oof.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, don't.
But yeah, it's gonna be a heck of a battle with you guys, and I'm proud to be at this point. I'm excited. I hope everyone else is excited. And why don't we go out into the outro? So as always, I want to thank my amazing players. You are freaking phenomenal. I just want to say this, and it's kind of funny. You guys are. So I always read the RPG horror stories on Reddit, right? Because why not? And you always hear about the terrible tropes that people play, like the over sexy person, right? That's a trope, or the edge lord, which is kind of Cecilia, right? The I'm going to stand in the corner and brood and be and stuff like that. And you have those players. You guys take that and like turn it on its head, which is the best possible option. You know, you have characters who are amazing and deep, and I think that's what people lose and miss a lot is those tropes are there, but those tropes aren't, whenever they're always played surface level, and you guys are amazing. So I can't say thank you enough for tonight or today, depending on where you're from. Thank you all so much. Yes, so sorry, I'll stop gushing. Yes, so thank you very much to Hero Forge for the really cool miniatures. I would love, if you're not, please join Michael's Discord, because I'm sure he's going to put up that picture of the Hero Forge of Nyx, the now humanoid Hero Forge character. That was pretty cool.
Yes, that's a sensible thing for me to do as a human being with a place to do that.
Because he does the Hero Forge stuff, and it's really cool on his shows. I want to thank Sirenscape for the really cool music we get every so often. There was music playing in the background. If you didn't hear it, raise your volume. It's pretty awesome. There you go. And of course, I want to say thank you very much to Fantasy Grounds for letting us run this on this VTT. That's fun. Thank you. And Paizo for creating Rise of the Runelords, which we've kind of like adapted to our own at this point. So thank you very much for the groundwork and everything else. But with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to my amazing players. And as always, the amazing Dawn. How you doing today, Dawn?
Hey, folks. So when I'm not here playing with all of these absolutely amazing folks, you can find me over at youtube.com/roll4initiative, where I make videos with my partner Ryan all about tabletop RPGs and other geeky interests.
Oh, that's me next. I'm sorry. I was just my brain is still just reeling.
It was
from
an
today.
intense role play.
I know it was intense. Thank you, Dawn. Hi everyone, I'm Caustic Phoenix here over on Twitch, and we also have D20 Deathmatch tonight, which last week, if you missed it, was Jared and had an amazing freaking awesome time. And this week, Dag is making an appearance. I don't know if he'll win. No promises, no guarantees.
Oh, you better
Maybe.
believe I'll win. I'm a stomp someone, and I'm happy to tell people who I'm up against. Because as you know, very, very good friend of the channel and friend of me, but very soon to be very salt-ridden, is of course the infamous Robert Hartley GM is going to be battling it out with me. But you know, I mean, that's fine. I mean, Rob's gonna have to just get used to being trounced by a clearly superior opponent. Just
Oof.
Yeah.
It's not fair that he can't defend himself, but I totally respect you of taking advantage of that. So
I also am very confident that he's on a stream like smack talking me. So I have no shame. I'm gonna take him out. I've no yeah. I probably. I mean, maybe I will. I hope I will. But I've got a very colorful character though. For my deathmatch battle. Very cute.
wait, yes.
So yeah, come check that out. Oh, actually, on that side note, that also means that there's going to be no Rhyme of the Frost Maiden tomorrow morning because I'll be doing deathmatch stuff. So there you go.
Hi, everyone. I am AJ Winters from Winter's Tales, my YouTube channel and soon to be Twitch channel launching in December. You can find my world building stuff over there. I world build every week because I am creating a world one step at a time that I'm going to host a tabletop RPG in and DM it next year, which is super exciting. You can follow all my socials in chat if you want to see what I'm up to, because I do D&D on several people's channels like 3 to 4 times a week. So yeah, that's me.
All right, and I'm Aristocrat. I make a webcomic on Instagram and on Webtoon, and there is one new episode every Monday, and it's about a grumpy witch and her cheerful dragon. And lately, the arc that is going right now is the witch preferred to summon a demon via a Ouija board rather than go out and socialize. So that's kind of the gist of it. Voila.
And hi everyone, my name is Michael. I am the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place, this is my face, and you can find it here. Oh my god, I feel like almost every day of the week now. Let's see, my schedule is pretty much Monday. I'm going to be on D20 Deathmatch, playing against Roberts with, of course, the wonderful hosts of Becca and Mudcat. I'm going to be on Tuesday. I believe it is not Rhyme of the Frost Maiden weekend, so you won't see me Tuesday. Wednesday, you'll see me be doing some awesome stuff with Hero Forge in the morning with Hero Forge art, and then Curse of Strahd. Then Thursday, you won't see me. Friday, you'll see me on Ruby Phoenix. Then Saturday, I've got 3 things. I've got Strange Aeons. I've got 2 things. Strange Aeons, and me and AJ are doing a thing. It's a quiz night thing. With
you're in the quiz night. Yay!
I'm your team captain, apparently.
You're my team captain.
I'm apparently your team captain. So yes, we're gonna be doing we're doing a D&D pub
You're the
quiz.
team
So that's the
captain
thing.
now.
And guys, I just want to also say, if you haven't watched these, right now on Dingo Doodle's channel, I have been the honored to produce a Fool's Gold Kickstarter promotion with someone who has just joined us in chat, the wonderful and amazing Quincy from Quincy's Tavern. Hi, Quincy! So if you want to see me and Quincy doing some cool stuff, go check out that video because it's amazing and filled with some cool stuff. That's it. That's all my promos. Jesus, I feel like at some point I just need to have, like, you know, that really fast 90s like credit reel, just it's gonna make my life so much easier. Anyway, so yes, back up to you, Jared.
Yes, that's me. I'm your host with the most, your GM Jared, and I am from Nothing Venture, Nothing Game. You could find me, just go to my website. It's way easier there. I have a YouTube channel, and on Wednesdays we go to another live play when I'm not here on Sundays early in the AM. It's a blast. So my website is nvngpodcast.com because we are a podcast and we do podcast stuff occasionally. Yeah, but hopefully tonight, if you're in America, check out D20 Deathmatch. That's going to be awesome. I love watching it. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll shut up now. I talked for like 3 hours straight.
All right, go and get some rest, dude. And we are also going to get some rest. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we do love to share the love by sharing our raids and the like. So do stick around to the new channels. Be sure to remove the raid tag from above in the address line as you join us. If you do, you'll get lots of channel points, which you can use on my show to influence my games and affect my players. And more importantly, you'll give some new role players in the scene some well-deserved love. So I want to see all of those raid emotes, all the love emotes, all of the hearts, everything you can give to these guys, because we are going to go and raid the Tea Dungeon. Now, these guys have been role-playing for ages, and they are just such troopers. They've got some new players there, and some great art. So, yeah, we're going to head over there right now. Thank you once again to one and all. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We will be back next week. Oh, wait, no, we won't be back next week. Next week is Thanksgiving, I believe. No. Yes? No. The week after. We're going to be back next week, but I'm not American. We don't have Thanksgiving. So we're going to be back next week, but not the following week, because that's when Thanksgiving is, which is something I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I was like, already? Oh no.
Look, I just sorry for panicking my American friends.
Every American panicked.
Yes, we won't be here for Thanksgiving, but we will be here next week. So come in and tune in and find out what happens as we deal with the danger from down under. Till next time, as always, from us to you, stay safe, stay warm, stay wonderful, and as always, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone!
Bye.